Okay, wow, what a wonderful turnout tonight, and we appreciate everyone coming to tonight's meeting. I think we have some information to share, and we certainly want to get your information and your input tonight. Let's call the meeting to order, and please stand for the pledge. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I know we had a sign-in sheet, but we still would like to go around the room and have everyone introduce themselves.
Peter Folan, I'm with the Blair County Planning Commission. I represent Region 3, the city of Washington.
Monica Kelly, Planning Commission, Planning Aid, Secretary.
Mackenzie Karen, and I'm the Regional Planner for Blair Planning.
Wes Brockett, Transportation Planner for Blair Planning and also the Blair Metropolitan Planning Organization.
Dave Butterbaugh, Altoona City Council.
Ed Frontino, Logan Township.
Alan Lego, Town Hill Borough.
Lori Biondo, Kansas Township Secretary.
George Bell, Annis Township.
John Harlan, Tyrone Borough.
Todd Lewis of Tyrone Township and on the Blair County Planning Commission.
Brian Delosier, Tyrone Township.
Brian Johnson, Taylor Township, Dave Reese, Blair Planning Commission.
Dave Ringback, Juniata Township.
Jim Burkett, Snyder Township. Juan Delosier, Holdsburg, Blair County Planning Commission.
Harold Burkett, Bellwood Borough.
I'm Henry Founds with Frankstown Township.
Bill Raybould with Frankstown Township. Hope Gray, Bellwood Borough, Borough Manager.
Chris Frederickson, Blair County Emergency Management.
Dr. Lee, Blair Township.
Mike Tillers, Greenfield Township.
Sheree Luke, Blair County Planning, Region 2.
Jessica Sheets, Region 3, Logan Township, Blair County Planning Commission.
Annette Lewis, Duncansville Borough.
Robbie Smith, Duncansville Borough and Blair Planning.
Jericho Long, Duncansville Borough.
Nathan Caldwell, Freedom Township.
Derek Martin, Lawrenceville Borough. David Birchfield, Allegheny Township.
And I'm Rodney Green, a couple different hats here tonight. Region 6, represented on the board, also Roaring Spring Borough Council, and I'm acting executive director for the time being. I'll tell you a little more about that in a second. Go ahead. And we do have a forum, which is wonderful.
Let's go. This is our first quorum in probably 3, 4, I think, years. So thank you so much for making the time to come out tonight. It's a really important meeting for that reason. And we're hoping to not have such a hard time getting us all together in the future. But thank you so much for, again, making the time to come out.
I know we sent the minutes out relatively late here, but we just hope you had a chance to look at the minutes, and if so, we would like to have a motion for approval for March 26th meeting.
So moved.
So moved by Ed,
Second.
seconded by Pete. So we have a motion properly made and seconded to approve the March 2026 meetings. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you very much. And before I forget, I didn't know if we had anyone attending tonight's meeting virtually. We did have anyone sign in, if you're aware of? Okay. Just wanted to make sure we didn't miss that. And we didn't have anyone sign up for public comment time.
We do not have to have a sign up for public comment, so if there's anybody from the public that would like to comment at this time on anything that's not listed on the agenda, this would be separate from the member forum where elected officials and municipal representatives have the opportunity to bring up issues that haven't been previously discussed on the agenda, but this would be the time for public comment. Sorry.
Not. So, if not, let's move on to the next item on the agenda, which is just again a briefly personnel update. And again, we had some introductions here tonight, but I want to say again that A lot has happened since our March meeting, and just as you knew that our executive director resigned the position. We also had staff member Sherry Sochi resign at that time also. Those resignations were effective April 30 of 2026. If you go by our bylaws, technically the executive committee, which is comprised of the president, which is Todd, the treasurer, which is Jessica, and myself, as the secretary, technically the executive committee serves as an acting director in lieu of not having a director. We felt that it was important for the staff as well as everyone else to have maybe a single point of contact, and therefore I'm serving as an acting director, but certainly working with the entire board and the executive board on that. So I just want to kind of give a quick explanation of how those events kind of came together. The other thing I wanted to mention is that obviously we are starting the process for looking for a new executive director, okay? And I'll just give you a quick 30-second version of my background. I'm a retired superintendent. I've been doing educational consulting work for about 15 years. A great portion of my work has been to help school districts and other organizations find either a superintendent or a CEO type process. So I'm more than happy to bring those backgrounds and skills to what we hope to be an executive director search for this organization. We've already contacted the American Planning Association, that's the national organization for planning, as well as the Pennsylvania State Planning Association. They will be posting an advertisement for our position as soon as we want to place it. So we're in the process of developing that, as well as an overall process and timeline for our search. We will be reviewing that at our next Planning Commission meeting with the entire board in a public meeting. But I want to assure you that we don't want to drag our feet in this process, but we also want to make sure that we go forward in I'm going to say the proper way, and hopefully recruit the talent that we think is necessary for this position. And I know that, again, we welcome input from everyone, and we will listen carefully. And I will say out loud right now, if you know someone who you think might be interested in something like this and has a background, please, we will contact and we will recruit on recommendations or on tips. So we welcome that input from everyone. We want to do another process parallel to our search process, and that is we felt that it was important for us to take an overview, look at this organization from 30,000 feet, so to speak, and really take a second look at how things are functioning, how things are working. And I will say to you, in the short time I've had the chance to work with our staff, a lot of things are working, and I mean that sincerely. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't look and take a second look at some areas, but we want to get an outside or third-party opinion of it. And therefore, we've asked, the process is we've asked the county commissioners to submit a letter of request to DCED, and they will do an organizational review study for this organization. I would say it's probably similar to the process you've seen in the papers recently, stuff where maybe they do a study for fire companies or other municipal type entities to do jointures or reorganization. But we wanted to use that process, and they have given us a general proposal of what can be done, and we feel it's very, very strong. And again, it takes we've submitted a letter to the commissioners, and we know that they're going to act on that very, very soon. So again, I think, just to give you a sense that we've been moving forward on a number of areas like that, and we also want to, I'm going to say, get out of the way also, so work can be done. A lot of work is being done, and we want to, again, make sure that everyone gets the feedback and the support that they need, but we also especially want feedback from all the municipalities and everyone who is a stakeholder in the process. So again, I just want to give that quick update to everyone. Does anyone have any questions or any comments? Yes.
I'll just ask the question. I know Sherry was a grant writer. So
Yes.
is there someone that is filling that position, or is that position?
That position's open at this time. Yes.
So it will be filled?
We intend to fill it, yes.
Okay.
I can't say to you how or when, and I will say, I'm hoping that the DCED study gives us some feedback on that also. But we're not, as I said earlier, we're not dragging our feet. Good question, thank you. Any other questions? Yes.
Just to follow up on that, in the meantime, who do we direct our questions to regarding the grants? I have 3 pending grant applications for over $1 million, and Sherry assisted me with those 3.
I would
Is
say-
there somebody in the office?
Send them to Mackenzie now, but I will also be involved in that process.
Okay, thank you.
Very much so. And if we don't have the answers, we will get them for you. Okay? All right. Again, I'll say it one more time, a lot has happened in the last couple months. But we think, again, this is a good organization and a great place for people to be working together and collaborating. If there aren't any other questions at this point, let's move on to the next item on the agenda. At our March 26th meeting, there's some copies coming around here. It was proposed to have a change in our bylaws, and what we were looking at was to make certain that the bylaws could reflect that members will vote to determine to allow elected officials to delegate service on the GAC to a member of the municipal staff. And the way the bylaws were written before, only an elected member could represent, is my understanding. So we want to be able to have elected members who could designate someone from the staff to attend and be counted as part of the quorum process. So that's what's being proposed, the change in the bylaws. Are there any questions about that? Yes.
Just a quick question. Most of the municipalities have more than one elected official. Is it out of line if we say, okay, if official A can't make it, official B can go make it, can be there?
Yeah, that's fine.
Because that's, a lot of organizations do that. Or if you're gonna have somebody that's not an elected official, a lot of times they will designate a person that says, okay, we can't get there this time, we're gonna send so-and-so instead. But it should be the same person each time, so you guys kind of know who it is.
So what we do is we send around to the municipalities a worksheet that has kind of a blank spot where each municipality fills in who they will be delegating to that hazard mitigation committee, to the stormwater committee, and to the GAC. That will also have an opportunity. We're kind of reworking that worksheet so that it does have an opportunity to say it's not just your primary delegate, but also if you'd like a secondary delegate, like you said, in the event that the primary delegate is not able to make it to a meeting, we will have the opportunity to do that. But it does have to, we do have to kind of have a record of who is showing up for the meeting on behalf of the municipality. So yeah, we will be sending that out once this moves through.
And just one other thought, because I've seen this happen. If both people show up, make sure it's clear that only one of them votes. It's happened in a couple other organizations.
And I'll say the same thing goes, I think, for this item as well. This item is, I believe, this item will need a vote from elected officials sitting on GAC. So if you're an elected official and you're here tonight, your vote will count, but there will only be one vote per municipality. If you only have an appointed official here, we can't count those votes. But this is to vote to change that so that in the future, we can have appointed officials at these meetings. So that being said, would you like to, we'll probably have to take a hand.
Any other questions? Good points, and I'll say again, I think the intent of the discussion we had earlier was, let's have the opportunity to designate people. And I think that's the intent. So if there are no other questions, I have a motion to approve. So second, we have a motion on the floor, and we have a second by Dave. So a motion properly made and seconded to make this change to the GAC bylaws to, again, allow an elected official to delegate service on the GAC to a member of the municipal staff. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. All right. Let's move on to the fifth item for the staff and subcommittee work.
Yeah, so
I think that has to be a roll call vote.
yeah, I think that has to be a hand.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that has to be a roll call.
My problem.
First meeting.
I was just saying, change a bylaw or change anything, it
I-
always has to be.
Ron, I have a sign-in sheet here, this might be helpful to you. So if you wanted to, you know, just pick out, just pick it out, you know, make sure that each one has what you Yeah, only the ones that are going to say yes.
Who wants it like? Yeah.
I think the easiest thing to do, if you don't want to really, elected officials, they really from. It's gonna happen.
I think it's just guessing.
Dave Rudnick. Ed Fontina.
Yes.
Jim Britton?
Birkin. Birkin.
Birkin?
What?
That did not say Birkin.
No, Bertten, it looks like.
From Snyder.
Yes.
Snyder? Yes. Let's see.
I went to Tower and School, remember?
I can write, and I went there.
So
Rich was trying to break us on taxes this time around, so.
I think she's telling you, Jim, that you spelled you're saying your name wrong.
Dave Rimbeck. Brian Delozier.
Yes.
Jerome Dodson.
Yes.
Michael Childers.
Yes.
Paul Alma.
Yes.
Alan Lego.
Yes.
Joe Rahal.
Yes.
Harold Burkett.
Excuse me?
Harold Burkett.
Yes.
George Bell.
Yes.
John Harlow.
Yes.
Derek Martin.
Yes.
Annette Lewis.
Yes.
David Birchfield.
Yes.
Nathan Caldwell.
Yeah.
And Ray. We have 16 yeses. Do we have any nays?
We need 13 for a quorum, so we do have a.
Yep.
Thank you, everyone.
Rod, it might, you know, what we've essentially just voted was each municipality's ability to send their appointed elected official or to appoint a representative for that municipality to vote in the stead. So, you know, we are, you know, kind of cheering tonight saying, you know, we got 16 yeses, but for future meetings, we still need 13 representatives here to actually have an official meeting and to actually take these votes. So we definitely appreciate everybody's being here and certainly the vote and your vote of support for moving forward. But, you know, if those of you that aren't here can't be here at the next meeting, which I think is in September, right?
Correct.
You know, please make sure that you do send us a representative so that we can continue to have an official meeting and have an official quorum and move forward. We didn't change the minimum requirement for the quorum. We just changed your ability to send a representative if you yourselves can't be.
Question, so in that event that you couldn't come, would we need to notify you in advance so you knew who that representative was going to be?
That's what we're requesting, yes.
Okay.
Should be, because then anybody can just walk in and say, I'm here on behalf of them.
And the person we're notifying is you?
That's fine. Yep.
You're Mackenzie, right?
Yes.
So, Mackenzie, it's the list that we've already filled out for this year,
That's
so we're
good.
gonna redo that, or are those the 3 people that have the ability to come and vote that I've already sent?
I
So we
will
have to
send out
choose
a
them
new one.
again.
I will send out a new one if you have new appointees that you'd like to submit. If you don't want to resubmit and you're comfortable with what you've already submitted, I'll let you know who's already appointed for your municipality. And if you're comfortable with that, then we don't have to have a new worksheet for you. We'll wait until the next round. All right, any other questions on the bylaws?
Let me just add to what Todd and everyone else is saying. The other piece of this is, yes, we didn't change the requirements of the number for the forum, but as we made for tonight and going forward, we will always make the option of attending the meeting virtually. So we will have, for example, our September meeting. And I realize that gasoline is no longer $2 a gallon. That's the last I looked at was. So I realized, hey, some people either can't get out, or it's a longer trip, but we want to make sure that we have that option that people can attend virtually. So that's another way to meet that quorum requirement. And I think, again, we can participate in the meeting just as easily that way.
All right, so typically what the Government Advisory Committee serves as is a working committee where we come together. Right now it's twice a year. In our bylaws it says the third week or the third Monday of March and September is when we all get together and kind of go over what's happening internally, go over any concerns that you have in your municipality. But also it's time for us to discuss regional concerns and also a direction for the County Planning Commission because the GAC is who kind of runs our board. That's who is dictates what our priorities are. And so in the past, we have done subcommittees or work groups for the GAC, which are groups that are voluntary that you can sign up for that are kind of based on your interest in your municipality or something that you have specific experience in. I figured this would be a good time to talk about potential work groups. I know we are working on our Act 167 Stormwater Management Plan. So I'm in talks with Chelsea about not reinventing the wheel because she does the ISC, and I don't want to reinvent the wheel on that, but we have in the past had a stormwater committee as part of the GAC. We've also had a finance committee that kind of oversees the finances of Blair Planning and other committees that and work groups that you guys see fit. This is kind of an opportunity for members to talk about priorities in the region and talk about ways that we can make this a functional group. Subcommittees and work groups will probably meet more frequently than I would say the March and September scheduled meetings because you'll be smaller groups and you'll have kind of a more focused purpose, but then we'll use the GAC meetings twice a year as an opportunity for these subcommittees and work groups to report back and kind of speak to the whole group on what's going on in the region regarding these specific things. So I kind of want to open it up to members to what do you think would be important for us to prioritize in terms of establishing a subcommittee. Like I said, I know that stormwater is something that we are actively working on. That is a plan that we have a contract for until November of 2029. So at least until then, I do think it's important for us to have a work group that is committed to kind of checking in on those types of things. But these are largely what you guys want them to be. They're largely self-led. I don't have a syllabus to tell you what you should be expecting from me. GAC is an opportunity for elected officials to let Blair Planning know what you want to see from us. So that's what I think these work groups can be a really great opportunity to say, hey, these are our priorities. We want Blair Planning to work on this, this, and this. And then you let me know and we work on those things. So yeah, does anybody have ideas and thoughts on what we could be prioritizing? Go ahead, Rod.
Kenzie, I know it's come up at several different meetings, but I think I'd like to sponsor a group to talk about emergency services, the overlap of services, the feasibility of working together more often, particularly with emergency medical services, fire departments and police departments. The resources that are necessary from each municipality is humongous, and I would ask if HT would lead that up.
Certainly
See how I did
participate. More than happy to participate.
the Army Crew volunteer you.
Mackenzie, I think there should be, maybe a subcommittee looking at how the community share is determined and how that is spread throughout the county for Blair planning.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think in the past, we have had a finance committee that has worked and determined those things. Again, I'm not asking anybody to sign up for anything today. I want to get some ideas for some things that you guys are interested in. I'll send out a kind of an idea sheet. If anybody has interest in volunteering for any of these committees, it can be anonymous. I'm not going to put anyone on the spot and make anyone do it. Unless I don't get any volunteers, then I will be calling you. So, yeah, any other? Go ahead.
Just one comment.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to cap how many committees you bring out there. You guys are gonna be inundated. You're gonna have way more than you can handle.
Well, that's kind of why I said we're prioritizing what we are working on in the office right now is stormwater management. So that's why I think that is a priority for us. We don't have a lot. I'm working on Bellwood Borough and Annis Township's comprehensive plan. But beyond that, we just got we just applied for the MAP funding for the 5-county comprehensive plan, but we're not really in that planning stage yet. So these are all things that we can kind of adapt and work toward down the road. If we decide, in September we need a new committee for this, let's establish that committee then. But coming out of the gate, some of our priorities are a little bit more, I would say, I don't want to say more important than others, but there are things that are pressing right now. Yeah, absolutely. So that's what we're kind of looking to address sooner rather than later. But I agree with you.
So you guys will be able to actually prioritize those and say, okay,
absolutely.
Left-handed monkey wrenches isn't on the list today because we don't really care. We got to do this.
Yes, I think we're very good internally about. Especially we are only a staff of 3 people right now.
Right.
So I think between the 3 of us trying to prioritize these things is going to be really important. But yeah, any other ideas or thoughts or things that are happening in your municipality that you'd like to see Blair Planning put some time towards? Something that I've heard a lot, we just had our municipal outreach meeting with Region 4, which is Williamsburg, Catherine Township, Woodbury Township, and that's it. And something that they brought up to us that is, a concern and something that we want to look into and something that I know is being looked into at the county level is concerns regarding data centers. That is something that is kind of pressing. We are having having developers call our offices interested in your municipalities and where they can go and kind of where to kind of have us point them in the right direction. And we want to hear from you. We want to hear your feedback. We want to hear what's happening in your municipality and what your community is saying about this issue, because this is something that it's not 5 years down the road. It's not even 2 years down the road. We could get a development application tomorrow for a data center in Blair County, and we would need to have a committee prepared to deal with something like that. So that's something that I think that, I don't know if other areas in Blair County are concerned with things like that, but that is something that has come up in a few of our municipal outreach meetings that I think could potentially lead to some good discussion with our other municipalities. Any thoughts on that one?
Put solar farms on that too.
Solar farms, absolutely. I think all things related to energy development and energy consumption are things that don't just affect one municipality, so they should be considered on a regional basis, so absolutely.
The big thing with them data is the amount of water to coal. It's insane. A lake that I vacation at 6 feet down, every lake around it's fine. And they found out they're pumping it through a pipeline into a data center.
Yeah, we have too many agricultural resources and too many water resources in Blair County that we pride ourselves on conserving and protecting to allow that to just be a decision that can be kind of waved to the side. So I think it's very important for us to start thinking on.
Perhaps call it the Energy Committee and try to have it encompass the various.
That would probably be something that we could really start pretty soon, I think. I wouldn't delay that too long. because I do think that it's hard to stop something in a reactionary way if we haven't done some proper planning ahead of time.
That was a big discussion at the last Pennsylvania State Boroughs Association meeting. They were talking about these data centers and the problems that are arising with them and where they're building them, how they're doing. They're trying to work on getting legislation together, helping counties and townships and boroughs, basically boroughs, with this problem, because they come in, you build a big building and you're stuck with it. I guess there's a lot of noise with it. Different things are involved with it. So I think that is coming up fast.
Yes,
That was a theme at PSATs also this year. Everything was data centers, everything about it was data centers. But I learned a lot and I've done a deep dive, and they're not as bad as people think, but I still don't want one in my backyard.
I know that the county has pursued or solicited legislation regarding data centers to potentially adopt countywide. We've had the opportunity to not officially review it, but I've had the opportunity to look it over and say, it needs this, it's missing this. But it is something that the commissioners are aware of, and it's something that they're actively seeking out solicitation in order to put something in place to protect landowners in Blair County and residents in Blair County, so that our resources are not at risk with the potential for data centers. So this is something that we are actively aware of, actively working towards, and would definitely appreciate the input and the knowledge and the background for a lot of your participation. Yeah, I think an energy committee is a great way to bring that. That way we can kind of adapt moving forward as well. Any other thoughts?
Any groups or anybody looking into blighted properties and blighted areas also? Is there a group for that? Do you have a?
I think a blight committee at a regional level could be a good idea. I think a lot of our municipalities have blight committees at a municipal level, but I think that we could potentially use our resources to be examining blight at a regional level. I know with the upcoming 5-county comprehensive plan that we're assisting Southern Alleghenies with, that's a main priority. That's something that they're going to be doing a specific blight study. I'm not sure if it's going to be a regional blight study or if it's going to go county by county and kind of go in depth, but that's something that I'm looking forward to helping out and participating with, especially. I think we have a lot of data on our blight that's in more urban areas and suburban areas. We don't have a lot of our data on rural blight, and so I think that that's really what we're going to use this opportunity to collect. But thank you. I think that's a great idea.
I would suggest if we have that committee, we combine it with blight housing to encompass the whole picture.
Mackenzie, one of the things we run across in Annis Township is a blight of electric vehicles and what to do about that. And is there anything you can do about it, regulation-wise or police-wise or registration-wise? But it's just a plague everywhere you go. Electric vehicles.
Do you mean e-bikes?
E-bikes. Yeah, I'm sorry. Not Teslas, e-bikes. I don't want to overreach. I'm just saying that's something that comes up a lot.
So I just finished Hollidaysburg's comprehensive plan. I don't think there's anybody here from Hollidaysburg's Borough Council, but Hollidaysburg, that was a major issue that came up when we did outreach for their comprehensive plan, was that kids are riding these e-bikes and e-scooters on the sidewalks.
Dangerous.
And so that is an issue that is being looked at, I will say, at a micro level in Hollidaysburg, but it's I don't want to say it's outside of our scope, but certainly something that when we're working on your comprehensive plan, which I am right now, that's absolutely something that we can say, this is potential for future legislation. There's an opportunity here for sure.
Does anybody else have that going on?
Good, yeah. Good.
And the thing is, that's more of a traffic issue than a.
Public safety,
Yeah, absolutely.
PennDOT did put out a cheat sheet on the different vehicles and some of the rules and regulations. So it's
document.
fairly easy to find online.
We're looking at actually doing, what do you call it? A bike rodeo to bring in parents and kids so that we can do some education because they don't realize that they actually have to follow the same laws that a car does.
And there's regulations under the Pennsylvania Vehicle Code that what is allowed on sidewalks and what's allowed on the street.
Alright, any other thoughts or ideas for work groups or subcommittees? Again, this is kind of evolving and this is something that we can continue to come back to. But what I plan to do is kind of send out a volunteer sheet with some of these ideas on them. If you're interested, if this is something that particularly affects your municipality or that you particularly have a lot of interest in or a lot of experience in, you'll have the opportunity to sign up. It won't be a major commitment. I'm assuming it will be, some virtual meetings or in-person meetings maybe once in a while. But that will be at the determination of the committee. So yeah, I will get that moving starting tomorrow. And so expect some emails from me on that. Any other thoughts on work groups or subcommittees or any questions?
Yeah, Betsy, thinking about that emergency services committee and following Mr. Budball's lead, maybe we could just expand that as an intergovernmental cooperation. Because that's kind of in the same ballpark, we have 3 backhoes and you guys have 6 backhoes and, we need to share some resources. I think that's a great idea.
I think most of the municipalities love each other do that now.
We do that.
We do it with PennDOT, we do it with adjacent municipalities and stuff, so it works for everyone.
Okay. So number 6 on your agenda is just a brief long-range planning update. I have the update that you guys have been waiting for. If you flip to the back of your agenda, as of this morning, we officially received our approval pending adoption on our countywide hazard mitigation plan from FEMA. This is the plan that's over a year out of compliance, and so it's a big deal for us to get it adopted. So as of this morning, it has officially been approved by FEMA. At the end of the day, so about 4:30 this afternoon, I sent out an email to each of, actually it was more like 5 o'clock. I sent out an email to each of the municipalities with a draft resolution, a PDF copy of the hazard mitigation plan, as well as a link to the online version of the hazard mitigation plan. This is now available for the municipalities to be able to review and comment on, and if they are, like I said, I sent a draft resolution to the municipalities for adoption. So once we received that APA from FEMA, the municipalities are available to adopt that plan. Once the first municipality in Blair County adopts the plan, it will be an active plan for the entire county. So that's really excellent. Like I said, I sent it out to all of the municipalities. So whoever has a meeting coming up, if you'd like to get that on your next agenda, I put in here what the next steps are going to look like. Essentially, we will also submit it to, or Chris, I believe this afternoon, submitted it to the county to go on their agenda as well. The county, I'm assuming, the county has been working with us very closely on this to get it completed, so I'm assuming that they'll pass the resolution. However, in order for it to be an adopted plan, at least one municipality needs to adopt it. So, like I said, if anybody's interested in putting that on an upcoming meeting for your supervisors or your council members.
Kenzie Belwood meeting's next Tuesday, I'll put it on the agenda.
So is ours.
Awesome. And whenever, if you get those signed, the resolutions, or if you have a resolution, once you have that, just send it over to me. Like I said, I sent it out in the email and all the instructions are in there. But that is a very exciting update for us. I know that's something that at our last meeting we were waiting for an update on, and now we have that, so I'm really excited for that. Additionally, like I said, we're working on our Act 167 stormwater management plan. we are in phase 2. I have been in touch with our contact from DEP, working on this plan and kind of getting caught up because it just kind of fell in my lap as like a plan that was like 40% of this work I've never seen before. So I'm kind of working on getting that going. I'm hoping to have phase 2 completed by the end of 2026 because I believe there's 2 more phases after that. That's the one that we have the grant for till 2029. Yeah, please.
While you're on the stormwater, like for example, we talked about it whenever you came to Tyrone. The creeks around town all need dredged deep because that would take half of our town out of the floodplain. Because right now, if, say for God forbid, something happens to his building, if he loses it, it ain't coming back. It's going to be more green space because we cannot build in the floodplain unless you go 6 feet up. Is that something we can put into the stormwater plan to help mitigate and make the world better for all of us? Because I know in Tyrone Township, there's spots out there where you get a big rain, but then you're not allowed to do anything to it because it's rocks most of the time. But then when we have rain, it's up to your waist, and then 2 days later, it's rocks and you can't do anything.
So this is the feedback that I've actually heard most frequently when doing the kind of preliminary outreach for the Act 167 plan. Most of the municipalities feel the same way. They're like, we can't do anything. DEP has our hands tied. That is what we're looking to. We're looking to identify those specific areas where you have those problems that are not being addressed. So absolutely, that's what we want to know. That's what this plan is for. And if you have made attempts to address an issue in the past, and again, you've gotten a slap on the wrist from DEP trying to address an existing issue, those are things we want to know because those are things that we want to document and say, nothing's being done here, we need to find a new solution. So absolutely, that's something that we are looking at with this plan.
So, can I just add to that, because Duncansville Borough is in the exact same position that you are. And we've basically been told that we can't do anything, so we haven't moved forward. So, because we don't have that answer. Oh, by the way, I did learn never use the word dredge.
Yeah, you can't. I don't like that word.
But,
Okay, it needs 6 feet deep to run.
Yes.
I just documentation that we're at least 7
Well,
foot
that's what
higher
we
than
get,
we were 20 years ago.
spruce barrier.
Because we don't have a countywide Act 167 plan, we cannot pursue any regional efforts to do any kind of mitigation for these issues. We're hoping that establishing a countywide stormwater plan, which is what this is, will give us, Blair Planning, the position to start going after some of these issues and asking questions and having a little bit of authority when it comes to projects and things like that. So yes, that is something we're desperately hoping to address and hoping comes out of this. Any other questions on Stormwater Act 167?
Are you gonna start sending a representative from Blair Planning to the ISC meetings? And they meet once a month.
Yes, I have been coming to those meetings. I just started getting them on my agenda after our director resigned, so I will be attending those meetings moving forward. Thank you. Last update for long range planning, I kind of already said this. Blair County signed on to join Southern Alleghenies for the 5-county comprehensive plan update. In 2018, we did a 6-county comprehensive plan. We're doing the same thing, except Somerset County asked to do their own comprehensive plan, so they won't be joining the 6-county comprehensive plan this time. But it's the other 5 counties, Fulton, Huntingdon, Bedford, Cambria, and Blair, and I think that was 5.
Yep.
Okay. And yeah, so we just signed on to do that. They applied for the MAP funding for the September round, and we're hoping to get started with that in 2027. Lee from over at Southern Alleghenies let us know that they have absolutely zero staff. to work on these plans. So it's largely gonna be, they're gonna rely on the planning staff for each county. So we're going to be actively involved in engaging you in the planning process, but that's gonna be a little bit down the road. We're looking at 27 and into 28 for that. But I figured I'd let you know now. Additionally, on the backside of your agendas, we have our Planning Commission meeting schedule for 2026, as well as our tentative GAC meeting schedule. Again, these meetings are the third Monday of September and March. That's the dates I based this schedule on. If something should change between now and 2028, that might not be the date, but believe me, I will let you know. But those are tentative. Any questions on the long-range planning updates or the upcoming meeting schedule or anything like that? Go ahead.
So now that we are at this better point, do you have a plan started for moving forward?
We were asked, so as far as we know, we are not participating in the update, the future update for the hazard mitigation plan.
We don't know. Okay.
So that is not something that's on our radar. That's typically something that needs to be updated, I believe, every 5 years. And because it's a year, because it's a year and a half behind, we should already kind of be, I think that process should probably start in 2027 for the 2030 hazard mitigation plan. But Blair Planning, I don't believe will be a part of that hazard mitigation plan update. Okay, do you want to move on to number 7? Number 7?
Yeah, just number 7, again, this is time for member forum again, if you want to discuss items that were not on the previous agenda. I know we've had a lot of good discussions, a lot of questions tonight, but any other items that people would like to discuss?
Yeah, anything that's going on in your municipalities that you want to bring attention to, anything that might be affecting your municipality, that might be affecting another municipality. Well, this would be a good time for us to just chat. Yeah, go ahead.
Did you need action from us? It was mentioned last time about having in-house plan reviews, staff level.
We used your feedback, we brought it back to our board, and we tabled that. That's not something that we're going to be moving forward with, based on the feedback we got from our last meeting. So we will not be doing in-house plan, or what it was the delegation of plan reviews to staff instead of having them reviewed at our planning commission meeting. That was something that was proposed because we were missing a lot of planning commission meetings. It was determined that we would not like to make it a habit of missing planning commission meetings. So no, I don't think we're going to be moving forward. But thank you. Sorry, that is an update from that's old business. That should have been on here. But yes, that is an update from our last meeting. Anything else? Anything else going on? Any other questions? Any other thoughts or concerns?
If not, that was not 7 items, 7 minutes, I apologize. But,
Talk to this.
That's, again,
11:45.
yeah. Again, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight and again, giving us this input, and we will continue to give you updates, and we would encourage people always to attend the planning commission meetings, but especially on the search for a new director as well as replacement for the strategic plan. We will provide updates in a timely fashion to that. We promise that. So if no other items or questions coming up, go ahead. Motion to adjourn. Second, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah.